Sign him up for the Box of Bait Club and he'll never be hungry again. The Box of Bait Club is a brand new dream come true for every fisherman. Something new and different in your tackle box every month. Every month, another excuse to get outside and do what you love. Don't let this one get away. The Box of Bait Club is currently accepting a limited number of pre-orders with subscriptions starting at $39.95 per month. Find out more now. Log on to boxofbaitclub.com.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. And then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-616-8010. That's 1-800-616-8010. Again, 1-800-616-8010. Call now.
Attention business owners. We know that owning a business means getting things done right now. So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company. General Steel. We can design a building for your business quickly and save you thousands of dollars. That's right, thousands. You may think General Steel only builds large projects or that you can't afford General Steel quality. Well, check these prices. How about a 40 by 60 foot building for under $22,000? Or even a 50 by 100 for under $35,000? That's right, a 5,000 square foot building for under $35,000. And these buildings all have General Steel quality. Best of all, you can still order a building and have it delivered in time to build this year. How's that for right now? So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company. General Steel.
800-393-5756. 800-393-5756. 800-393-5756. That's 800-393-5756.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
Boy, man, I had a rough night's sleep. Boy, I got a letter from the IRS yesterday, and I just couldn't sleep. Man, I'm dying here. Somebody help me.
IRS problems affect more than just your finances. If you're ready to take back control of your life and you owe more than $10,000, you need to call the Tax Doctor. Their expert staff can immediately protect you from the IRS and state collectors and get you the best possible tax settlement guaranteed. The IRS has recently released new programs geared in helping struggling taxpayers, where you may qualify to settle your tax debt and wipe out up to 85% or more of what you currently owe. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, call the Tax Doctor right now. See if you qualify to pay less. 800-989-1694. 800-989-1694. 800-989-1694. Again, 800-989-1694.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. We leave no warrior behind. Wounded Warrior Project is a non-profit organization created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war. Whether those scars are physical or mental, we're here to make sure that they heal. And whether it's helping those with post-traumatic stress disorder live a normal life again, or giving much-needed support to injured warriors in veterans' hospitals. Because no one deserves our help more than the men and women who risk their lives to keep us safe. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
You want to know what time it is? It's time to bring the rain.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Good morning, my fellow Americans. Good morning indeed. Good Monday morning. It is I, your lovable host, L. Rod, coming to you live from my bunkerized home studio somewhere within the great grand estate of New Hampshire, where the state motto is live free or die. It is not big government or bust. Here on this Monday, March the 14th in the year of our Lord 2016, we are in the midst of March 2016 already. Yes, by the way, the call-in number is 603-835-3224, and there was a push not too long ago here in the state of New Hampshire to try to change our state motto, which is, obviously, as you well know if you've listened to this program for any length of time, is live free or die. There are, let me tell you something. I was planning to open this program up this morning for the first hour to do an positive expose on the top two Republican candidates, Ted Cruz and Donald Trump. And I was going to go Ted Cruz first, not simply because I like Ted Cruz better than Donald Trump, but because Cruz C comes before Trump T in the alphabet. Plain and simple. But, I've decided after doing research this weekend, just looking for the positive stuff that these two guys, because, I've talked about the negatives that I've had, negative issues that I've had with all the major candidates, including Cruz and Trump. And I thought, you know what? We need some positive stuff here. We need some, what's good about these two guys? People need to understand what they're voting for, not against, because we're always fighting against this and voting against that. But the Democrats are very good at putting people against other people. What are we for? And as I'm looking for this stuff with these guys, and doing my homework and research, because I don't do anything unless I don't say stuff unless I know about it. If I don't know about it, I tell you I don't know about it, then I speculate. Sometimes. I don't always speculate. I'm not like all these speculators out there speculating about speculating. I don't speculate. So I like to know what I'm talking about. So I do my homework. I know a lot of that's kind of backwards. I know people open their mouths first and then they learn the truth. I get that. That's the way news people go. But I'm not a journalist, so I look for the truth first. And I got to tell you what I've what I've been coming across and learning is disturbing. And I'm not happy. But here's the problem I'm having. You know, I was already talking to a few people about certain aspects, both candidates, by the way, not just one or the other. And what I found so far even on the right is much like what's happening on the left. I know some people are saying, "What? Republicans are acting like Democrats?" Rod, no, that doesn't happen. Well, first of all, understand people are people. People are people. Now, what I am not going to do is I am not going to, sugarcoat anything or gloss over anything, like all the other most of the other talk show hosts. That does you a disservice. It does me it does our country a disservice. Why would anybody, this is not about me. This whole process in this election is not about me. It's not about you individually. It's about this nation collectively. There was once a president, and some people call him a great president, and some people say he wasn't so great. But there was once a president who said something very great. He said, "Ask not what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country." That was probably one of the most profound statements to come out of any president's mouth ever. I know that's a millennial term. Ever. But the reality of it is when you actually take it apart and listen to it, when you actually read it back to yourself, when you say it to other people, and the actuality of when you listen to what John F. Kennedy's entire speech was surrounding that statement, that sentence, you'll understand it is probably one of the greatest lines ever uttered by an American president. Period. Because that's what it comes down to for this country. In reality, it's not about you individually. It's about us as a nation collectively. And thus, by paying attention to us collectively, you get to have what you want, your freedom individually. Because an individual cannot have their freedom unless the entire collective has their freedom. Abraham Lincoln was right. We can't be a justified and call ourselves a free nation if we have but one person who is enslaved. You can't have it. So right now we've got this issue going on. Over the weekend we've had this nonsense. Look, I've been on social media all weekend this weekend, just calling people out on their BS on this issue, because it for a while there it had me ticked off, and it wasn't because I'm a Trump supporter, but this whole notion that Trump was being bum rushed, possibly attacked, his rallies were interrupted. I gotta listening to this. All of these people on the left being positive about this is so astronomically asinine. Because these are the same people that think that, well, no, you can't come into a Bernie Sanders rally and disrupt. You shouldn't go to a Hillary Clinton rally and disrupt. Oh, that's not possible. And they're on campuses all over. Well, I guess that's one thing. Going to college campuses, say things that they don't agree with, and all of a sudden you're hurting their feelings, and you don't have free speech rights anymore. Well, you know what? I tell you what. If you're a Republican or a conservative college group, bring me to your campus. I'll speak there. I'll promote the hell out of it. I will not back down. I'll call them all out. I'll go to their safe space and preach the gospel, the truth. I don't care. This notion that we're going to develop mamby-pamby, wimpy little faggot you-know-what. Yes, I said the word. You know, you boys need to grow up and be men. Plain and simple. And you girls need to understand what it means to be a strong woman. And just because people disagree with you intellectually or politically doesn't mean they're out there to hurt your feelings. And big freaking hairy deal if they were. Grow up. You know, I can understand, and I can, well, maybe I can't understand it, but I can accept that there are people that have a different opinion about things than I do. That's fine. You have that right. What you do not have the right to do or say is to try to shut me up simply because you think I'm hurting your feelings. Grow up. You're going to get your feelings hurt. If you're a little mamby-pamby, wimpy, spoiled little brat, you're going to get your feelings hurt. If you grow up and act like an adult, most of that stuff won't bother you. You realize you're having a difference of opinion with somebody else. Let me be frank to you. Especially if you're a millennial. I know you've been told and taught all your life by all these wonderful insiders and career politicians and educators that you're so special. Let me tell you something. Let me hurt your feelings right now. You're not special. You're not. You're no different from the rest of us. You're no different from anybody else around you. We all cannot be special. I'm sorry, you've been sold a bill of goods. Get over it. I know I'm probably going to get hit on this, but you know, I don't give a flying squirrel. Because I'm done with all this mamby-pamby stuff. I'm done with all this, you know, let's tiptoe around the issues. And no, life is not about tiptoeing. We may not be back in so-called caveman days, but life is still just as dangerous today as it's ever been. Life is still just as fragile today as it has ever been. And this notion that you think that you are special means that you think that you're better than somebody else. And that's the whole point. Let me tell you something, you little liberal college creeps. You think you're better than other people. Well, go look it up, but that's part of the definition of racism and bigotry. You think you're better than somebody else. You're not. And I love when I start calling, you know, there's a particular person that's always using all this, just talking about white privilege all the time. You know, especially rich male white privilege. And then you call him out on his obvious hypocrisy. And he's like, what are you talking about? Danny DeVito, I guess, has come out over the weekend in support of Bernie Sanders. Everybody's clapping their hands on the left. You know, yay, yay. Oh, so Danny DeVito is out there supporting a guy who wants to raise taxes and spend more government money. Because why? Because Bernie believes that people on Wall Street and other business people earn too much money. This from a guy who makes millions of dollars a year in the entertainment industry. And he can get up there and support Bernie Sanders, and black people will say, hey, he's for, you know, blacks for Bernie are all about, by the way, if you are an African American and you support Bernie Sanders, I don't want to hear anything about your support for the new Black Panthers, anything about white supremacy, or anything about anti-slavery crap. Because let me tell you who's always been for slavery and still is. They're still for separating people, and that's socialists and communists. Again, this is just this. It is amazing to me how somebody can be so learned, book smart, be taught all kinds of stuff out of books, but still be so stupid. I mean, and be blinded by all of this hypocrisy. So we've got Danny DeVito out there who is now talking about, Bernie Sanders is the guy. Okay, Mr. DeVito, why don't you stop burning millions of dollars for doing pretty much nothing? What is the awful program? It's Always Sunny in Philly or Philadelphia, whatever that crap was. Him and his short, disgusting wife, Rhea Perlman. This is the couple that did the Matilda movie? Was that Matilda? I think it was Matilda. I don't. And this guy is running around now supporting somebody who is completely and utterly against the Constitution. And I'm sorry, but Bernie Sanders is not for the Constitution. He's not. Let's clear the air about that. Bernie Sanders is an anti-constitutional candidate. And if you are a Bernie Sanders supporter, you are not for the Constitution of the United States. And as far as I'm concerned, if you're an anti-constitutionalist, you're an anti-American. Even though you were born here, you are not an American. I'm going to clear the air about that. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There is no possible way for you to be a real American if you are against the Constitution, the very document that gives you your ability to be an American in the first place. It means you don't want to be an American, which means I'm not going to say that you're a traitor. But you're coming pretty damn close to it. Now, before I go any further, you people on the right side of the political aisle, when it comes to some cruisers and some Trumpsters and some Rubyites, you guys aren't any better than the left. I'm going to be blunt. If you think this notion of Trump being disrupted only by Bernie Sanders supporters, you've got another thing coming. All you have to do is look at the Twitterverse and the Facebook, universe and social media and emails and all that, and look at YouTube and all that kind of stuff, and you know for a fact that it's just not pro-Bernie Sanders people that are disrupting Trump or Cruz events. Let me tell you, you so-called conservatives that think that you're all for the Constitution, I'm sorry, you have no idea what it really means then. If your idea is to block somebody else's ideas simply because you don't like them, you're no better than the people on the left. In fact, you're probably worse because you're a bigger hypocrite than they are. See, they don't even realize that they're being hypocrites. They've been taught a bunch of gunk and a bunch of bunk, and they believe that the Constitution is a living document that needs to be changed every generation. You're supposed to be on the right, who are conservatives, who conserves the values and ideas of the founders, and you're acting like a bunch of tyrants. I mean, I am just sitting here over the weekend looking at all this, shaking my head, and thinking, how did it ever get to this point? How did we ever get to this point? Not that we have American versus American in political discourse. That's been happening since day one. That's not the issue. The issue is that for nothing other than personal political gain, do we on either side do we have people who are willing to shoot one another? Yeah, I know that we've had, in the past and historically documented that our founders and people involved with and around the founders back in that day, they've often gone to fisticuffs, and even on a couple of occasions, famous occasions, there was a duel, pistols at 20 paces, what have you. Yeah, I realize that. But most of that was about achieving the greater good. Right now, what we've got is people thinking about themselves. I want free college education, and I want free medical care, and somebody else has got to pay for it. And I will beat up whoever I have to beat up in order to get it. You know what? If that's in the private sector, we call that strong arming. We call that criminal activity. The mafia used to do that kind of stuff. It's illegal, right? Yes, it's illegal, but I guess it's legal when you're doing it for the government, right? Is that what we've come down to? Is this what we have come down to? I don't fully understand why it is this way. It shouldn't be. This is supposed to be a nation of freedom, which means free ideas and free thought. Because that and that alone helps us to become the great nation that we once were. And what we are going through right now is anything but greatness. Actually, it's pretty sad. Because we have a bunch of people on both sides of the political aisle that do not understand what the founders were all about, that do not understand what the Constitution really is all about, and they want to be, look, I've got people close to me that think that, believe it or not, they believe that we live in a police state because we have to now. They believe that you have to obey the police no matter what they say. No, we do not live in a police state. And there are times when the police are right, and there are times when the police are wrong. And then you have people that say, well, geez, if you're going to say that right, you don't support the police. And that is in and of itself is an idiocy that is a total lie. Yes, I'm all about law and order. I'm about upholding the law, which is the Constitution. I am not about enforcing the law. We don't have many. Look, I've got local and state and federal friends who are in what we call law enforcement. And I would be devastated if any of them lost their lives in the line of duty. But I hear their stories. And the surprising fact is that the good cops out there, but you people don't hear this, but the good cops out there, they mostly agree with me, not you. Got it all backwards and twisted. And this is why we have all these people trying to bum rush a stage because they believe that Donald Trump doesn't have the right to speak. Because people have forgotten what it means to be an American. And people have forgotten that to be an American, it's all about the Constitution. And frankly, I'm going to double down on it. If you are against the Constitution in any shape, form, or matter, you are not an American. I don't care if you're on the left or the right.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
When you're ready to take the edge off a hectic day, I suggest you start with a little music from Franz Black.
I guess there's lots of ways to look at things that don't seem right.
No Worries has just been released on iTunes and Amazon.
It's gonna be alright.
You can find Franz Black and his music on his website, franzblack.com. F-R-A-N-Z black.com.
It's gonna be alright.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes two. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzzed driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzzed driving, because buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Attention business owners. We know that owning a business means getting things done right now. So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company. General Steel. We can design a building for your business quickly and save you thousands of dollars. That's right, thousands. You may think General Steel only builds large projects or that you can't afford General Steel quality. Well, check these prices. How about a 40 by 60 foot building for under $22,000? Or even a 50 by 100 for under $35,000? That's right, a 5,000 square foot building for under $35,000. And these buildings all have General Steel quality. Best of all, you can still order a building and have it delivered in time to build this year. How's that for right now? So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company. General Steel.
800-393-5756. 800-393-5756. 800-393-5756. That's 800-393-5756.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-616-8010. That's 1-800-616-8010. Again, 1-800-616-8010. Call now.
You're listening to me, your lovable host, L. Rod, here on the Rod Eccles Show.
603-835-3224 is the number to call should you wish to join me here on the Rod Eccles Show this Monday morning. A little bit different from what you're probably used to. All of you, ecclesiastites out there, you're probably used to something. Well, you're not used to anything different. You understand that no, I'm just going to tell you the truth no matter what it is. To me, it doesn't matter if I like it or I don't like it. The truth is the truth. That's the whole point. A lot of times we don't like the truth, but that's our own problem. It's not the problem of the truth. It's ours. There is a company that I worked for. And if you're lucky, you get to have these experiences, at least once in your life. Now, not because you get to work for somebody, but the type of company that you get to work for. And this company, it was a business consulting firm. And they charged a lot of money, upwards of over $350 an hour. They charged a lot of money. But the man who founded and ran this business consulting firm was a very smart business guy. He helped a lot of business owners. And when I say business owners, and they're talking about small to mid-sized companies, but basically, if you didn't have at least $3.5 million in annual sales revenue, you couldn't afford him anyway. So our basement floor was annual revenues of $3.5 million, and it went up from there. And the interesting thing is I got to talk to these business founders, CEOs of these privately held small to medium-sized companies. And I remember having a conversation with a gentleman, privately held company, doing $100 million annually. I had 2 conversations with this man. And before I went to work for this company, I never would have thought that I would be speaking with somebody who makes $100 million a year. But what I learned from this company was, you know what? It's something called trash. That's your trash. That's your head trash. Why do you think you don't have the ability or the wherewithal, or why do you think you don't deserve to be able to talk to somebody who makes $100 million a year? And it was a whole type of system. I learned more from this company in 18 months than I had learned in my previous complete life before then. About life, basically. And we were told and taught that all of this stuff that we harbor and that we internalize, it is all on us. Why do people want to accept that kind of pressure? The pressure is not yours, but you want to own it anyway. It's somebody else's. So in other words, it's kind of like what they call it in this system is called a reversal. If somebody tries to put their pressure on you, you reverse it and put it back on them, and you're free to go and do and be and say as whoever you please. Like you're trying to put you people who want to shut Donald Trump up or who want to shut Ted Cruz up, you're trying to put in their mouth pressure on them because of your trash. You want to equate Donald Trump with the Nazis. That's your head trash. Not Donald Trump. Donald Trump in no way has ever emoted anything in favor of Adolf Hitler. But that's your garbage that you want to place on this man. Now, this is not to defend Donald Trump. This is just to tell you the truth. If you believe Because whenever Donald Trump opens his mouth, if you believe honestly that he's a racist, a bigot, a homophobe, a Nazi, you've got to stop and look at yourselves and ask yourself where that's coming from, because I got to tell you, it's most likely you're accusing him of your own beliefs. And I know I just probably bitty slapped a bunch of people out there. Well, that's the truth. And if you actually look at it, how often do we hear all these people call somebody else a racist, and we come to find out that they're the actual true racist? It happens a lot from people on the left. And they continue to do it, and we continue to let them do it because we let them throw their pressure, their trash on us, and we internalize it, and we take it on, and we have all this pressure on us, and we got to say, oh, I have to show them, and I have to prove them that I'm not this. No, you do not. You don't have to prove jack to anybody. That's why I don't have to prove anything to anybody. Somebody wants to call me an Uncle Tom or whatever, great, fine. Go right ahead. Tell me why that is. Oh, no, Rod, you've got to prove to me that you're not. No. I do not. See, you're the one that is accusing me of something. You got to prove it. I am not going to play this game with these people. And I learned when I worked for this company, that is, when you play that game, they own the rules. They can change the rules and make them whenever they want to, and you will most likely lose. But when you force them to play by their own rules, you usually win. Because the pressure is no longer on you. I am not going to accept the pressure from anybody who wants to call me something or try to call me out on anything. Great, fine. I'm sorry you feel that way. Why do you feel that way? Oh, no, I don't have to tell you. Yes, you do, because you're the one that's accusing me of it. I'm an Uncle Tom. I'm a sellout. Great. Tell me exactly how I am. Well, you got to tell me, Rod, that you're not. You got to show how you're not. No, I'm sorry. I'm just me. You're the one accusing me of something that I do not believe. So tell me again how I'm a sellout. And you know what? Those kind of people usually go away. Because the pressure is back on them. And they have to think about it. And 90% of the time when they have to really think about it, they realize what they just said was a bunch of BS and they have nothing or no basis to back it up. Let that be a lesson. All you wonderful, budding politicians out there, you don't take this kind of crap. Even from a reporter. Reporter asks you something outlandish. Look, you just ask him the question back. Really? Well, where'd you get that? Why don't you tell me? Because, hey, I don't have to prove it. You're the one saying it, so evidently you've got some evidence. What do you got? This is it. I am, if you, for those of you who want to know what that method is, it's known as a sales method, but it's not really a sales method. It's a life method. It's called the Sandler sales system. And there are people out there who understand it and fully understand it. And I was trained in that, and I could be a Sanders sales system coach. I was trained that well in it. And don't get me wrong, I've been trained in all kinds of different things, but let me tell you that one system, that whole system about understanding what people are doing to you and the reasons why they're doing it, and that there is tremendous psychological and psychiatric study to back this stuff up. It is unfathomable. And yet we ignore this every single day. You know, how many people out there when they went to college, they took Psych 101 and Psych 201? Most colleges, you got to at least take Psych 101 in order to get a 2 or 4 year degree. And in many colleges, you got to go through 2 years or 2 classes of Psych, Psych 101 and 201, at least, in order to get that degree. At least when I went to school, that was the case. I don't know, maybe not anymore. But yeah, same stuff. Talked about how people's personal reluctance to face their own inner demons. And how often, this is how you get these psychotic episodes from these psychotic killers. They want to place their internal struggles or their internal demons on other people. And then when they place them on other people, then they think they can kill that person and get rid of that demon. How often do we see that on like the television cop shows? We see it all the time. But this is reality. How do we get mass murderers? Because mass murderers, most of the time, it isn't about the joy of ending someone's life. It's they have these demons that they're placing on these other people that they target. And then that's why they kill them, because they think they're killing the demons. Instead of actually taking charge of their own life, they want to put their trash on somebody else and then try to, whether that person realizes or not, they are forcing that other person to prove to the mass murderer that they're not the devil. That they're not the evil one, and that this mass murderer is looking at this person, and this person is not proving to them that they're saintly enough to live. That's the problem. You go through it every single. I want you to do. See, this program is all about winning at life, not just politics here. I want you to do something from now on at work. You go into work, even with your boss. And you're not going to get fired for this. I can't guarantee it. I don't know your boss. Your boss could be just a total prickola. And this is not about not being able to do your job. This is not about listening to your boss and listening to the goals that are being set down that are coming from high above. But this is all about your coworkers and your boss putting trash on you, putting their pressure on you when they should be owning it. Stop them just once. Just stop them. Say, look, I'm sorry you feel that way, but hey, why don't you tell me more about it? Prove to me that it's my responsibility or my fault or what have you. And when you start calling people out on this stuff, you're going to find that you're going to have a lot less of it come your way. You're going to be more effective. You're going to be more successful. And you're going to realize that you can talk to anybody at any time, anywhere, about anything, because they're no better than you are. So I'm talking on 2 separate occasions, possibly for almost 2 hours total time. I'm talking to a founder and CEO of a company that did $100 million a year in sales. And we were just having frank conversations about his business. I didn't own a company that made $100 million a year. But you know what? We were 2 human beings having a conversation. And before I went to work for that company, I never would have thought that I had the ability or the wherewithal to speak to somebody like that. People ask me, well, Rob, how do you mingle with the people that you're starting to mingle with? Why aren't you nervous about it? Why would I be nervous? We're 2 Americans about to have, they're going to engage in a conversation. Maybe we'll agree with each other. Maybe we won't. Doesn't matter. But see, you have those in the left that have this thought process that they're better than you and I, that they're smarter than you and I, and that only they should have the right to have freedom of expression and freedom of the press, and that if you say something that they disagree with, they have, according to them, they have every right to disrupt your rallies to the point of utilizing or threatening violence. And of course, if you threaten the same type of tactics back on them, oh my goodness. What did Donald Trump say? Well, maybe we should protest, Bernie Sanders. And what did the first thing Bernie Sanders comes out and says, bring it on, Donald. Why doesn't Bernie Sanders tell his people to stop this nonsense? Oh, no, doesn't do that. Doesn't do it at all. He tries to throw more trash onto Trump supporters than Trump himself. And Donald's a master of this. He's like, don't look at me. I didn't do it. I didn't tell that guy. Hey, I was ready for him. People are always attacking me. They've tried to shame Donald Trump for being rich, and Donald's like, I'm rich. Big freaking hairy deal. I'm not going to be ashamed of it. I mean, he lets people into let me put it to you this way. And this is not an endorsement of Trump, but this is a full endorsement of not taking other people's trash onto you, taking their pressure, taking their beliefs and making them your own. Donald Trump is unabashedly a successful, wealthy, rich man. And he loves being rich. He's not rubbing anybody else's noses in it. But he is not ashamed of being rich. He'll let people into his apartments, his houses, his helicopters, his planes, and see his gold-plated and solid gold faucets and handles and levers and this and all gold and silver plate. He has no problem with doing that. He's not ashamed of it. And oftentimes we listen to these, especially these so-called journalists, that try to chastise him. Why, Donald, why do you got all of the, this and this gold plated this? And Donald's like, big freaking hairy deal. I mean, he said it before. He's like, me buying this is like a middle class person going to Home Depot and buying something that they buy there. It's no big difference to me. In other words, Donald's saying, why the hell is that a problem if I can afford it? Because I worked hard for it. Why is that a problem? You have a problem with me spending my money when you're now think about this. We have all these leftists out there telling us that the rich people don't spend money. They don't create jobs, they don't support jobs, they don't spend money. So when they do go out and spend their money, then they are chastised by these same people for ostentatiously spending. Well, what should Donald Trump do? Should Donald Trump walk himself into Home Depot and pick up, a copper pipe? That's what Donald Trump should do? Well, he wouldn't win anyway. Because then you'd say, well, geez, look, he's such a cheapskate. He has, $1 billion and he'll shop at Walmart or he'll shop at Home Depot himself and pick up a copper pipe. The guy could afford gold pipes. Why doesn't he buy gold pipes? So he does buy gold pipes. And then you say, well, look at all that money that he's wasting. And see, Donald Trump doesn't fall for that crap. Good for him. And this is why these people want to rush his rallies. Now, if you think I'm leaving Ted Cruz out, I'm not. Although Ted Cruz is not rich. But people try to throw their trash on Ted Cruz, too. And it just doesn't work. It doesn't work at all with people who refuse to take on somebody else's trash. Doesn't work. And some people just think, well, geez, I don't understand how they can do that. I mean, that just takes a real strong personality. No, it doesn't. The reason why people who do not do that come off as being so strong is because most people aren't even willing to try to do that. It takes some work. That's the problem. Anything that takes work, nobody wants to do it. Especially if you're used to doing things the other way and if you're used to taking on the pressure. It takes work to reverse that kind of process, to start something new, to improve yourself. It takes work. And a lot of people don't want to do that. But some people, look, if you want to know what the secret is to Donald Trump's success in business and now in politics, I'm telling you exactly what it is. Donald Trump has never accepted anybody else's notion of who or what he is. He has always thrown it back on them and said, look, you're the one accusing me of being this or that, good or bad. You're the one that's accusing me of being this or that. Prove it. And Donald Trump is saying, it's not up to me to disprove what you're saying. It's up to you to prove what you're saying. Because you're the one saying it. I have nothing to do with it. And this is what has some people totally losing their minds. Because they're so used to other people accepting the trash and trying to disprove whatever they happen to say or believe. And Trump is masterful enough not to fall for it. And to a lesser degree, same with Ted Cruz. And to a certain degree, Bernie Sanders. But Bernie is a master of throwing trash and trying to get it to stick to. Hillary Clinton is such a bimbo. I know that's probably something you probably shouldn't say about former First Lady, former Secretary of State, but she is. This woman is not so smart. This is the second time, her second go-around at this, and she's having troubles dispatching another opponent, just like she had troubles dispatching Barack Obama. Because she's not all that bright, to tell you the truth. Because if she was, then why would she be going around trying to imitate Bernie Sanders? Keeps going further and further to the left to try to imitate. Why? Because she's taken on all this garbage and all this trash. Look, in spite of all the Benghazi stuff and all the other stuff, that's irrelevant. And she's running around talking about, what difference does it make? Well, you know what? It makes a big difference according to people who are throwing their trash on you. And you're so busy out there trying to disprove them that you're proving them right. I mean, there are a certain number of people who are willing to ignore what Hillary Clinton could have possibly have done in her political life, and they're willing to vote for her, whether it's true or not true. Even if it's true, they're willing to support her and to vote for her and to try to elect her. And with that knowledge, you think that she should have been able to dispatch Bernie Sanders long ago, but she's not that bright. That's her problem. She's not the smartest woman in the room. She's not the smartest woman ever. She's not smart at all. She's a conniving, evil woman. That's Hillary Clinton. She's not all that smart. Because a smart person would have been able to dispatch Bernie Sanders 6 months ago. Wouldn't even have gotten to this point. But it has. Look, folks, we got a lot more to cover this morning, and probably take some of your calls as well. So we're going to get to it when we get back. Yeah, we'll be right back.
Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Sign him up for the Box of Bait Club and he'll never be hungry again. The Box of Bait Club is a brand new dream come true for every fisherman. Something new and different in your tackle box every month. Every month, another excuse to get outside and do what you love. Don't let this one get away. The Box of Bait Club is currently accepting a limited number of pre-orders with subscriptions starting at $39.95 per month. Find out more now. Log on to boxofbaitclub.com.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. And then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-616-8010. That's 1-800-616-8010. Again, 1-800-616-8010. Call now.
Attention business owners. We know that owning a business means getting things done right now. So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company. General Steel. We can design a building for your business quickly and save you thousands of dollars. That's right, thousands. You may think General Steel only builds large projects or that you can't afford General Steel quality. Well, check these prices. How about a 40 by 60 foot building for under $22,000? Or even a 50 by 100 for under $35,000? That's right, a 5,000 square foot building for under $35,000. And these buildings all have General Steel quality. Best of all, you can still order a building and have it delivered in time to build this year. How's that for right now? So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company, General Steel.
800-393-5756. 800-393-5756. 800-393-5756. That's 800-393-5756.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
Boy, man, I had a rough night's sleep. Boy, I got a letter from the IRS yesterday and I just couldn't sleep. Man, I'm dying here. Somebody help me.
IRS problems affect more than just your finances. If you're ready to take back control of your life and you owe more than $10,000, you need to call the tax doctor. Their expert staff can immediately protect you from the IRS and state collectors and get you the best possible tax settlement guaranteed. The IRS has recently released new programs geared in helping struggling taxpayers, where you may qualify to settle your tax debt and wipe out up to 85% or more of what you currently owe. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, call the tax doctor right now. See if you qualify to pay less. 800-989-1694. 800-989-1694. 800-989-1694. Again, 800-989-1694.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. We leave no warrior behind. Wounded Warrior Project is a non-profit organization created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war. Whether those scars are physical or mental, we're here to make sure that they heal. And whether it's helping those with post-traumatic stress disorder live a normal life again, or giving much-needed support to injured warriors in veterans' hospitals. Because no one deserves our help more than the men and women who risk their lives to keep us safe. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
You want to know what time it is? It's time to bring the rain.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge. Yours truly is back behind the Freedom Mic here in the Bunkerized studio somewhere in the great granite state of New Hampshire. I am your lovable host, L. Rod, coming to you live and thanking all of you wonderful liberty lovers all around the globe and you beautiful ecclesiastites on this March the 14th in the year of our Lord 2016. The phone number, the call-in number, 603-835-3224. Should you wish to weigh in on what I have been speaking about or will speak about for the remainder of the program. You know, agree or disagree, that's okay. I obviously don't mind if you agree, and I'm not going to mind if you disagree either. You have the ability to do that. But don't do it with, don't disagree just to disagree. That's the job of the host of the program. I'm here to disagree sometimes, just to disagree, just to create a conversation. And so, playing devil's advocate, isn't that what some people always talk, or some people talk about, playing devil's advocate. One of the interesting things that has come about, and this is what pretty much sparked my hour-long diatribe earlier, is this whole, I love how these people just point out all the supposed hypocrisy, and to some extent, to a little bit of extent, they might be correct. There's this notion that Ben Carson is acting like a sellout or a wannabe, by endorsing Donald Trump for president after he's dropped out of the race. Because, Donald has said some not so nice things about Dr. Carson. And, most people fully understand, well, as Dr. Carson does, hey, that's politics. That's what you do. That's what you say. That's what happens sometimes. And let's face it, Dr. Carson as nice as Ben is, as people have been referring to him, as nice as he is,
Well, there have been times that he's said some things that, that haven't been construed as being very nice. And that's okay. Really. It really is. But I find it interesting that you can take anybody apart. Especially when you take them out of context. You can take anybody apart when you take them out of context. Hell, it happens all the time. I should know. I'm getting to the point of recognition where people are taking me out of context on a regular basis. It's really kind of funny and laughable. And there are people that expect me to respond to them taking me out of context as if I'm supposed to prove that they're wrong. Like, what? Are you kidding me? No, I'm not going to play that game. I'm telling you right, if you think that you're going to get me to play that kind of a game right now, I'm telling you, it is not going to work because, as a good old, remember In Living Color? Homie the Clown? Yeah, well, homie, don't play that. I know some of you probably don't even know what I'm talking about. You need to go, it's a 80s and 90s, late 80s, early 90s program. The Wayans brothers got their start. The older Wayans, Keenan Ivory and Damon, that's where they really came to be known. And that's where Jim Carrey got his start, too. In Living Color. They did some raunchy stuff. Well, by today's standards, it isn't. But back then, it was pretty cutting-edge raunchy stuff. Today, it's tame. I mean... Damon Wayans had played a character called Homie the Clown. Now, today, that would be they would look at him as a clown, nothing cutting edge. He would be considered, some sort of a weird, nerdy type, basically. Except for the one thing, his tagline, "Homie, don't play that." People understand that when they see it. I think it's. I remember it. In Living Color was hilarious. It was comical genius. Keenan Ivory Wayans put something together that was definitely something different and cutting edge back then, and it was a huge hit. And he used stuff like that today. If you use that today, you'd be called a racist. And some of it is just so tame by today's standards that today's kids would wonder why it was even funny. But back then it was. And, he took a lot of things a lot of people on the left and the right. Keenan Ivory, he kind of like Saturday Night Live is supposed to do, much like a real life South Park. Everything and everybody was fair game to be made fun of. Because South Park is pretty famous for making fun of anybody, equal opportunity making fun of you. Doesn't matter. And a lot of people, who were the butt of jokes, took it in stride. In fact, some of them even appeared on South Park. They lent their voice to Rush Limbaugh a couple of times. As much fun as they've made of the right and Rush and that kind of stuff, and he's been, I guess Rush has a sense of humor. You lefties don't have a sense of humor. Doesn't seem like it. You lefties take yourselves far too seriously, and you think that by taking yourselves too seriously that you have the right and the ability to interrupt somebody else. Yes, you have a right to demonstrate and to protest, but you do not have a right to demonstrate and protest and get in the way of somebody else espousing their freedom. So if you want to protest, you don't have the right to do so inside a paid venue, a rally. You don't have that right. Sorry. I find it interesting that you think that you have the right to do that, but somebody wants to come over to Bernie Sanders and do that to Bernie Sanders. Oh, no, you can't do that. But I say that because Washington Times is reporting, and for those, I find it interesting that the left often has to pay people in order to protest. And we found out that they actually were paying people to protest when they didn't pay people after those people protested. And in this day and age of fast-traveling, instantaneous social media and connection, we found out that these people were upset that they either, one, didn't get paid what they were promised or didn't get paid at all. Hey, we did this for you. Where's my money? You know, you pay me my money, is what they were saying. MoveOn.org, according to the Washington Times, is raising funds from the Trump protest. Warns more disruptions are to come. So MoveOn.org is conducting fundraising activities from the Chicago protests against Donald Trump that prompted the Republican presidential frontrunner to cancel a rally there last Friday, and promises that more disruptions are on the way. So, and what you get is what happened when one of those people were being escorted, and I think it was a 74-year-old man trying to, he basically, cold cocks one of the protesters. And, of course, we have video of police, pinning this guy that just got punched to the ground. But the problem is we don't see what happens to force the police to jump on top of this guy. I know you're going to get, it was a bunch of white police officers, and it was a white old man, racist man that came over and punched this guy. And the guy was black. He was African-American. So it's obviously racially motivated. Hitler-like and Nazism and all that. Yeah. Obviously, we have no idea what happened because the camera doesn't keep panning that way. I don't know why the camera doesn't. There's like 3 different angles, which is really kind of surprising. I don't know why none of them picked up whatever happened to cause the police to jump on this guy. I don't know why they don't. There's no editing. It shows it right through, and I guess there is some editing. It cuts from... Look, who knows what this guy did? The editing cuts from the scene of the old man trying to punch and elbow the guy, the younger black guy, and then all of a sudden, it cuts to the point where the guy is on the ground and being tackled by police and then escorted out. We don't know what happens in between that time. Nobody wants to show it. You gotta wonder why. Somebody has had... If there are 3 different angles and 3 different people shooting this altercation, at least 3. I've seen 3 different angles. Why do we not have any video of what happened between the time the old man tries to punch and elbow the protester and the time the cops are piling on top of him? I think 2 or 3 cops are pull him down to the ground, and it doesn't even look like they handcuff him. All they do is they pick him up and they forcefully escort him out of the venue. They don't even handcuff him. Now I thought, hey, they'd be maybe they were trying to keep the guy from going back at the old guy. That might have been it, but we don't get to see it. So already I am suspect. I'm like, you are showing me this stuff. You're showing me that Donald Trump protesters are racist. Really? How is that? You're not giving me all the evidence. You're not showing me everything. What the hell happened? You showed us... Look, they showed us plenty of footage of the line of people walking up the stairs for a long period of time. They could have cut the video to the part where just before the old man tries to punch. No. We see this long video of the progression of them walking up the stairs to this point. Guy tries to punch the guy. Old man Trump supporter tries to support black younger anti-Trump hater. Trump hater. And all of a sudden, then the videos, all of the videos, no matter which angle you're from, all of it, they cut and go to the point where they're showing this guy on the ground with police on top of him. I don't know what happens I don't know what caused that, because you're not showing me. So you're telling me that something is afoul with this old man, and you're expecting me to prove that this guy is not a racist. Well, no, tell me what happened. Show me the whole story. It's not up to me to prove jack. You're the one bringing this forward, so give me all the evidence and show me the entire story. Why are they not doing that? I don't know. Maybe because MoveOn.org doesn't want you to see all of this stuff. And by the way, who funds a good portion of MoveOn.org? Who started MoveOn.org? Yes, George Soros. You know, the rich nemesis of the wealthy Koch brothers. You know, yesterday I caught the tail end. What was the Zach Galifianakis, however you pronounce his name? Yeah, probably the only movie that Zach Galifianakis has shaved his beard. And what, Campaign or something was it? You know, was the title of it, with Will Ferrell and Zach Galifianakis. Where these, and Zach plays a very feminized type of straight man. I mean, it's just, I know he's supposed to be from the South, but it's just, I'm looking at this thinking, the last half hour of this, I remember watching this and seeing this whole movie before. It's not a new movie, but it just had me, looking at it thinking, wow, why is this type of stuff these types of movies being made? And when you start looking at things from a different point of view, and there's a story out there about all the politicized movies that are coming out this summer. I get it to Independence Day 2. I don't know how they're really. I don't know how far in the future they're going with this, but it's a sequel to Now, it's not the same as as a regular disaster movie where lots of there's destruction and you're rebuilding. The problem is with this is that it's mankind is now trying to withstand a second wave of an alien invasion. Well, at least half the world has been eliminated. At least. Every major city on the planet has been totally destroyed. I'm finding it very hard to accept this premise of, Independence Day 2, basically. But from my understanding, Celia Ward, a very beautiful woman, by the way, pretty lady, portrays a female president in this movie. And why all of a sudden what is all of a sudden with all this female powerhouse political stuff? I mean, we got, isn't Tina Fey playing, is it Tina Fey? I don't know who it is. I don't watch it. Playing, Taya Leone. What's the that TV program? I don't know. Is it cable or is it network? I don't even know. She's a vice president, and then we got female presidents in movies, and all this female high power, a female alpha male type of stuff going on. Is this all to help the Hillary Clinton, look like a stronger person? Look, let me be the first to say right now, I am not saying that Hillary Clinton is not a strong female person. She's not a strong female persona. I'm saying she's not all that bright. That's what I am saying. And they're trying to tell us that, Hillary's a strong person. Yeah, she might be. Well, actually, looking at everything that she's, done and said and put up with and withstood, she is a strong female person. Definitely. I'm not going to deny that. But she's not all that bright in my book. Here's a woman that gets caught and then tries to say, well, it wasn't. She can't even tell the difference between what should be and should not be classified information. That's not very bright. It's not very smart. But hey, we're supposed to believe that, all this stuff is just randomized. It doesn't mean anything until you start saying, well, geez, hey, we're seeing people being paid to protest. What happened to people just wanting to get out there because they believe in something? I thought all you liberals out there, you guys were all about this, because you believed in something. And we come to find out, evidently you don't believe in it enough without being paid for it. You're not giving a speech. You're being paid to protest. Why? Because, if you didn't get paid for it, you wouldn't do it? Well, yeah, that's actually basically what they're saying. And look, the left understands this as well as excuse me. Oh. The left understands this as like nobody else does. Hey, we'll pay for it. Just go protest. We'll pay you. But whoa, if you don't pay for it, because then they'll be out there like, remember the is it Family Guy? Brian owed Stewie some money, and Stewie goes, "Hey, where's my money, man? Where's my money?" Well, that's exactly what they did. They were out there saying, "Where's my money, man? Where's my money? MoveOn.org, where's my money?" And I also find it very interesting that, you've got this potential violence going on at a Donald Trump rally. And what do? They egg these people on, but Donald Trump cancels a rally, and they're saying, "Oh, look, Donald Trump he's so scared of people, he cancels a rally because somebody rushes the stage." But when he doesn't cancel something, they say, "Look, Donald Trump, he foments his hatred towards other people." So basically, Donald is damned if he does and damned if he doesn't, which is why Donald Trump just saying, I'm not going to put up with this stuff. It's not on me. It's on you. You guys are the ones that are infiltrating my rallies. We're not going. How about we just go to your rally? Oh, bring it on, Donald. Bring it. Bring it. Bring it. Bring it. So says Bernie, the grumpy old uncle from Vermont. So according to some people, without consulting local police, Donald Trump abruptly canceled a rally in Chicago in the face of massive and overwhelmingly peaceful student-led. It wasn't massive and peaceful. That's the point. And this is why I'm getting sick and tired of the lamestream media fomenting all of these freaking lies, and they know that they're lying. And they don't show you the whole picture. They don't show you the whole truth. And they're trying to tell you, well, look at this. Look at this. Why are you a racist? Because you don't believe me. Well, it's not on me to say that I'm not a racist. You're telling me I'm a racist by showing me a bunch of garbage. Prove to me that I am. See, we've all accepted this notion that we've got to prove to these idiots on the left that we're not what they're claiming that we are. You know what? I'm calling BS on them. They're going to have to prove to me why the hell they're saying what they're saying, because they're sure as hell not showing me the whole story here. Peaceful Why were there arrests made then for a peaceful protest? Why is MoveOn.org paying people to show up? So they can put the onus on Donald Trump and on the conservative movement or the Republicans? No, that's not the way it's going to work anymore. You cannot lie your way to success. You're trying to call me out. You're trying to call the right out. Well, I'm telling you, I'm calling you out because you're the ones making the accusations. And you're making the accusations based on a bunch of phony stuff that you show everybody and say, look what happens. Well, where's the missing footage? We're just supposed to buy your BS? I don't think so. Not going to happen. Not here. Not now. Not ever. You people who want to throw your freaking trash around, you've been put on notice by me. And if you're going to bring that nonsense here, you're going to get thumped hard. Because frankly, I'm not going to hide it, make any bones about it. I'm just going to tell you straight out. I'm sick and tired of it, and I'm not going to deal with it anymore.
You're listening to me, your lovable host, Rod, here on the Rod Eccles Show.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
When you're ready to take the edge off a hectic day, I suggest you start with a little music from Franz Black.
I guess there's lots of ways to look at things that don't seem right.
No Worries has just been released on iTunes and Amazon.
It's gonna be alright.
You can find Franz Black and his music on his website, friendsblack.com. F-R-A-N-Z black.com.
It's gonna be alright.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes two. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Attention business owners. We know that owning a business means getting things done right now. So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company. General Steel. We can design a building for your business quickly and save you thousands of dollars. That's right, thousands. You may think General Steel only builds large projects or that you can't afford General Steel quality. Well, check these prices. How about a 40 by 60 foot building for under $22,000? Or even a 50 by 100 for under $35,000? That's right, a 5,000 square foot building for under $35,000. And these buildings all have General Steel quality. Best of all, you can still order a building and have it delivered in time to build this year. How's that for right now? So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company, General Steel.
800-393-5756. 800-393-5756. 800-393-5756. That's 800-393-5756.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. And then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washers washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-616-8010. That's 1-800-616-8010. Again, 1-800-616-8010. Call now.
Welcome back. 603-835-3224 is the number to call should you wish to join me here live here on the Rod Eccles Show. Los Angeles Times. Amazing, this is actually coming out of San Bernardino, California. It's California, folks. What do you expect? In any case, LA Times, for those of you in Rush Limbaugh's Rio Linda, which is also in California, by the way. Notice how a lot of this stuff happens in Cali. It happens in liberal places. I mean, what do we? There was somebody who posted something about the 10 worst cities in America right now are all liberal Democrat run. And they have been for years and years and years, decades and decades in many cases. But somehow, for all their failures, the Republicans and conservatives get all the blame. Well, it's the Republicans' fault. The first 2 years of Obama's administration, he had the House and the Senate. And and they were in such numbers that there was no way for Republicans to really put up or mount an effective, defense or response to whatever the Democrats wanted. And yet, whenever Obama couldn't get something, which was rare at the time, he couldn't get something that he wanted the way he wanted it. It wasn't the Democrats' fault. It was the Republicans' fault. The Republicans are like, hey, dude, we couldn't stop you from doing Obamacare. How could we have stopped you from doing anything else? And not a single conservative Republican voted for Obamacare. I mean, I think you had the Olympia Snow and what was the other female senator from Maine, the other liberal Republican, might as well have been a Democrat. In any case, you had, they didn't, they weren't able to stop Obamacare. It's how the liberals got it. It's how Obama got it. But yet and still, when stuff goes wrong or doesn't work out, even though they were told ahead of time, this isn't going to work if you do it. Oh, of course it'll work. Then they blame the Republicans for it. It's amazing, and the Republicans accept it. They accept the trash. Like, first of all, I would ask, hey, you're saying that it's our fault, Republicans' fault, because this isn't. Look, we haven't been in power. We tried to stop you and couldn't stop you, so you got it through anyway. Obamacare. How is it our fault? You got what you want. You got exactly what you wanted and asked for. We were unable to stop you. So how is that our fault again? Please tell us. Show us how it's our fault. Just don't go out there and say, because this is what they're doing. The Democrats will just say something, and the Republicans feel obligated to defend themselves against it. What a bunch of BS. It's kind of like, well, the Democrats propose something, and all of a sudden the Republicans got to run out and say, no, we have a better plan of doing this. It's kind of like the Obamacare thing, and I hear Hannity say it all the time, repeal and replace. No, repeal and leave it a freaking alone. You don't got to replace it. Why is it that the Republicans got to have a plan to replace it? That's accepting the Democratic trash. That's accepting the liberal socialistic garbage.
putting the pressure on the Republicans to try to come up with something that's an alternative to the Obama debacle. Please, put it back out on there and say, look, we don't have an alternative plan to this kind of crap because government shouldn't be involved in everybody's health care decisions. Why do you think you should be? Why is this not work? Put it back out on them. But the Republicans will not do that. They'll accept it and then take the pressure and say, oh my gosh, we've got to come up with some. No, you don't got to come up with any counter idea. Because they do it every single time. And then you respond with more big government, but it's just Republican big government. Because you're accepting their bullshit, basically. That's the whole point. That's why they do and say what they say, because they know that you're going to take on the pressure and the responsibility no matter what they say, instead of being the mirror and reflecting it back out on them. Because whenever you do that, the Democrats lose. We don't do that enough, because whenever we accept that pressure and that responsibility of whatever they're saying, it is always the Republicans and conservatives that lose. Look, they'll even turn on their own to get what they want. You know, I mean, San Bernardino here. An assembly race out there in San Bernardino, California, could define what it means to be an Inland Empire Democrat. I didn't write this out. This is directly from the LA Times. Inland Empire Democrat. I have no idea what the hell that's supposed to mean. But here's the story as it begins. What happens when a Democratic lawmaker strays from party leaders on a key piece of Governor Jerry Brown's policy agenda? Not just Governor Brown's, but it's just the national too. There is an assemblywoman who held back support for a sweeping climate change bill last year, and she's starting to find out what that means. Assemblywoman Cheryl Brown, a Democrat from San Bernardino, was among a group of business-aligned Democrats who objected to a provision in the bill, SB 350, that would have cut California's motor vehicle petroleum use in half by 2030. Half! And California is the land of the automobile. So you wanted to cut California's use of petroleum in half by 20. I love how they do this to people. There is no viable alternative. But, hey, let's just take away people's freedom. Now, an earlier version, basically, that has to do with correcting something that they said in an earlier version, I suppose. But now Brown, who's an African American, I know, she's considered to be a moderate. She doesn't go along with this mantra automatically of this mantra about man-made global warming, and she's called a moderate. Trust me, this woman is not a moderate. But in any case, they're calling her a moderate. Brown, a moderate, is facing what could be a bruising re-election fight against an intra-party challenger from the left, attorney Eloise Gomez-Reyes. The race, obviously, Eloise Gomez-Reyes is Latino. One brown person racing against another brown. You black people in this country on the Democratic side, you guys have been replaced as their favored minority. Now, why do I say you guys? Well, Rod, aren't you black too? But I've never been a Democrat, so they never had me to begin with. But you blacks that they did have, they've taken for granted for all these years, you've been replaced. Why do you think this whole notion about trying to make illegal immigrants legal? In spite of, African Americans have been objecting to this legalizing illegal immigrants for years. Because, look, they're taking jobs away from the inner city and from us. And you guys in the inner city and you African Americans have been ignored on this. And as a matter of fact, look, the Democrats do not love African Americans. I don't know how many times I'm going to tell you this. They don't love you. They can't stand you. They are still truly the racist in this country. And they want to see you devastated, decimated, and destroyed completely, utterly to where you go away. Now, the race raises a question. What does it mean to be a Democrat in San Bernardino, where concerns over jobs often compete with those about the environment? Well, there is no question about the environment. What comes first? Well, being responsible about the environment, sure, but jobs that are also being responsible about the environment comes first. Now, some early signs indicate Brown could be in trouble. Protesters have shown up at her local events. Some of her supporters have defected, endorsing Reyes early in the fight. So they're going to support her, Reyes, over Brown. Brown is trying to protect black people's jobs, middle class and working poor jobs, trying to protect them from an overreaching white aristocracy Democratic powerhouse. And what happens? Oh, we're going to abandon Brown and go for the mouthpiece, Eloise Reyes, who is going to cause even more unemployment, especially among the minority, especially among African Americans. And yet African Americans are still going to vote for people like that. Yeah, it's just as bad as having a bunch of homosexuals support Islamist. You know, hey, you got a gay person who's going to accept, hey, to support Al Qaeda, while Al Qaeda is throwing their brethren off the roofs of 10-story buildings. I saw a video this weekend of that. I mean, it is. You got it. I know sometimes it's very hard, but you've got to watch this stuff to understand the pure hatred and brutality. Now, what it looked like to be an office building, could not be positive, but it looked like to be an office building somewhere in the Middle East. And, you heard the word homosexual. And then, the camera pans up to the top of this, what appears to be approximately a 9 or 10-story building. You're looking 80 to 100 feet up in the air. And they're on the roof. And these people are fighting for their lives as they're being grabbed and brought to the edge. And you could see them being brought to the edge and then move back away from the edge. And next thing you know, they come flying over the top. They look like rag dolls. And what you get from this video is that they've caught people who they believe to be homosexual, and they're throwing them off a building 80 to 100 feet onto the hard concrete and stone sidewalk and pavement, throwing them to their death. And in one particular instance, they're landing on steps as well. One particular instance, it looks like the guy is still alive. How he survived that fall, I don't know, but it looked like the guy was still alive. The crowd on the ground who is cheering notices and finishes him off. And yet you American homosexuals are supporting this garbage. Well, this is the same thing for blacks. You African Americans are supporting a party that wants to see you dead. Look, you complain all the time about so many African Americans being locked up in prison, incarcerated. Well, who brought that about? Hillary Clinton's husband, Bill, brought that about. I don't understand this notion for... this goes beyond the so-called Stockholm Syndrome type of thing. I mean, but as soon as you step off the reservation, they prove themselves, they prove just how bigoted, how racist, how hateful they really are towards you. Assemblyman Brown doesn't go for Governor Brown's garbage about man-made global warming because she's worried about jobs in her district and in her cities. And no. She can't care about you. That's not the issue. She's not allowed to care. When a Democrat actually tries to do something that is caring and responsible, no, they're not allowed to do that because it's not about that. They say it is about that, but they prove it every single time when it comes time for them to put up or shut up. They don't put up. Because it's not about what they're telling you. And it hasn't been. It's never been about what they're telling you. But we're supposed to believe this kind of stuff. So I am asking you, don't come here to me trying to bring your BS, your garbage, because all I'm going to do is ask you, well, really? Why is it? See, I'm looking at this stuff over and over again, some of it coming from the left, that's showing me how mean, evil, disrespectful, spiteful your side is to just themselves, to within your own camp. Why is it that we're supposed to buy this stuff? Why is it that we're the bad people, the bad guys, when you're the bad ones? I know, you're not supposed to think that kind of stuff, Rod. You're not supposed to. Hey, by the way, did you speaking of left, we've got Kasich out there. Now, folks, I got it. Kasich is out there claiming that he is, or pledging that he is going to, within his first 100 days, introduce amnesty. Get amnesty somehow, some way in this first 100 days if he's elected. Hello? I don't know how that's possible. I don't know why you'd support Ohio. Why do you support a governor who wants to do this to you? Look, I understand this whole notion. Well, we've got to stop Trump. We've got to stop Trump. Stop Trump. Stop Trump. My question is, why? Why is it that the Trumpsters feel that they have to, people in the Trump train feel that they have to defend and support Trump? Why do they have to do that? Why are we against anybody on the right? Why are they against Trump? I mean, really, honestly, seriously, I want to know why the hell we have so many people who are against, and I know I've even said this, well, it's because the inside the beltway type of people, the moderate wing of the Republican Party, they don't want to give up power, but we need to get them to tell us why that is. If they stuck with these people, they would probably end up with more power than they know what to do with. So what is the big deal? What is driving this? Why don't you just tell us, guys and gals on the moderate right? I mean, none of this is making any sense. Outside of the context that they're just trying to throw they're trashing everybody else. I'm just saying. The whole notion that you've got MoveOn.org who's out there who can't seem, the left can't seem to get people to come out and protest now. Because evidently nobody is agrees with them on this stuff, so they can't. So they're not protesting, unless of course they pay for the protest. Oh yeah, well, hey, yeah, well, we'll pay for you if you go out there and say that you don't like Donald Trump. Okay, if you go, we'll pay if you go, because I know you won't go with it. And why do you got to pay all these people? You got to pay them because most of them don't have any jobs. I need to think about that for a second. These people are demanding that you pay them because they don't have any jobs. And they don't have any jobs because of all the policies that you're supporting and putting in place, especially when it comes to, taxation and immigration. And you expect them the only way, and you know that the only way you're going to get them to support you in any significant number, in any particular way, to do what you want them to do and say what you want them to say, is you're going to have to pay them. Because the reality is, you're lying to people. Think about that. They've got, has it come out yet? I'm not saying it hasn't happened, but I haven't heard about it. I haven't heard of any, so-called Tea Party or Republican type of protest or rally that has taken place where all those people, so many of those people, or a bunch of those people were paid by some Republican PAC or Republican group. I haven't heard that yet. If you have that kind of stuff, please send it to me. I would be happy to look at it and to report on it. But I haven't seen any reports like that. And you would think that if that were the case, the mainstream media would be jumping all over it and touting it from here to doomsday for the next 16 months. Look what happened at this rally. This rally was supported by a bunch of people who showed up who got paid. In fact, they showed us their paychecks or their pay stubs or the checks that were written for them to be there. Don't hear it, don't see it. I don't see any Republicans standing up on YouTube or any other type of social media saying, where's my money? We're not being paid. Where's my money? I see a bunch of liberals doing that, who are going to these liberal supposed causes and marches and parades and protests, and they're coming out and saying, hey, where's my money? And we know that they are not conservative because the vast majority of them are minority, and the vast majority of that minority is black people, and these black people don't have jobs in the inner city that are being run by the Democrats. Do you see the convalescing of all of this BS and garbage? And the left is just taking their whole garbage can and they're trying to dump it on us, on the right, and then telling us, prove us wrong. Well, hell, we can't prove you wrong. Because we don't need to begin with, because you're the one that's saying it, and you're trying to deflect all of this evidence off of you and place it on me. I'm not going to take that pressure. You're calling me out. Bullshit. I'm calling you out. And whenever you do that to a Democrat, they wither, they cower, they go away. So why aren't we doing more of that? Call them out. Well, I know, because a lot of times they get very defensive, and sometimes, like we can see, these peace-loving peaceniks get very violent. And they cause all types of trouble. And then when somebody retaliates or tries to protect themselves, it's their fault. Not the liberal antagonist. It's the person who's frustrated and who's trying to protect themselves and to protect what they have. Now all of a sudden they're a racist, bigoted, homophobe, even if they're 74 years old. It's amazing. And we keep letting them do this. Well, I'm telling you, enough is enough is enough. No more. I'm done with it. You want to bring that mess here? It is not going to work. You're going to find yourself on the outs pretty damn quick. Because I will shove your garbage right back down your throat. And that's exactly where it needs to go. And, maybe that's why Clinton is always having a coughing fit, because people are catching her on her BS and she has no place to go. She's choking on her own garbage, folks. Believe that. Hillary Rodham Clinton is choking on her own garbage. There's no way in hell I could ever support that woman for president. No way. Nobody has ever shown me any reason for any way, anyhow, that she is the best qualified, most qualified, whether she be female or male or tranny. You know what? I would probably vote for Bruce Jenner, a.k.a. Caitlyn Jenner, before I voted for Hillary Clinton. And that's saying something. Wow. All I can say is stop playing into the liberal mantra and stop playing the liberal game. Take it from them. Once and for all, folks. Stop taking on and accepting their garbage. Tell them it's their trash. They've got to deal with it, not you.
Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Sign him up for the Box of Bait Club and he'll never be hungry again. The Box of Bait Club is a brand new dream come true for every fisherman. Something new and different in your tackle box every month. Every month, another excuse to get outside and do what you love. Don't let this one get away. The Box of Bait Club is currently accepting a limited number of pre-orders with subscriptions starting at $39.95 per month. Find out more now. Log on to boxofbaitclub.com.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. And then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-616-8010. That's 1-800-616-8010. Again, 1-800-616-8010. Call now.
Attention business owners. We know that owning a business means getting things done right now. So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company. General Steel. We can design a building for your business quickly and save you thousands of dollars. That's right, thousands. You may think General Steel only builds large projects or that you can't afford General Steel quality. Well, check these prices. How about a 40 by 60 foot building for under $22,000? Or even a 50 by 100 for under $35,000? That's right, a 5,000 square foot building for under $35,000. And these buildings all have General Steel quality. Best of all, you can still order a building and have it delivered in time to build this year. How's that for right now? So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company. General Steel.
800-393-5756. 800-393-5756. 800-393-5756. That's 800-393-5756.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
Boy, man, I had a rough night's sleep. Boy, I got a letter from the IRS yesterday and I just couldn't sleep. Man, I'm dying here. Somebody help me.
IRS problems affect more than just your finances. If you're ready to take back control of your life and you owe more than $10,000, you need to call the tax doctor. Their expert staff can immediately protect you from the IRS and state collectors and get you the best possible tax settlement guaranteed. The IRS has recently released new programs geared in helping struggling taxpayers, where you may qualify to settle your tax debt and wipe out up to 85% or more of what you currently owe. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, call the tax doctor right now. See if you qualify to pay less. 800-989-1694. 800-989-1694. 800-989-1694. Again, 800-989-1694.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. We leave no warrior behind. Wounded Warrior Project is a non-profit organization created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war. Whether those scars are physical or mental, we're here to make sure that they heal. And whether it's helping those with post-traumatic stress disorder live a normal life again, or giving much-needed support to injured warriors in veterans' hospitals. Because no one deserves our help more than the men and women who risk their lives to keep us safe. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
You want to know what time it is? It's time to bring the rain.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Welcome back. Hour number 3. Yes, indeed. The fastest 3 hours of internet talk radio is right here on the Rod Eccles Show. I am, of course, your lovable host, L. Rod, coming to you live from my bunkerized home studio somewhere within the great grand estate of New Hampshire, where the state motto is live free or die. It is not big government or bust. And yeah, even though they have been trying to change it, I have checked again this morning, and it has not changed as of yet. Still live free or die. Call-in number is 603-835-3224. Again, that's 603-835-3224. You know, all I can say is to a lot of people, not a lot of naysayers out there, all I can say first of all is don't doubt me. When I tell you something, pretty much I'm telling you what the truth that I found out. No need to doubt me, no need to disbelieve me, because I have no reason to misguide or mislead. I just don't. Because you know what? A lie is not going to propel or perpetuate greatness in this country, because it's going to come out. The truth eventually does. You know, people get, maybe not, we have this whole notion that, karma is a bitch, Rod. Karma. Well, I could care less about karma. Sometimes karma doesn't happen in this lifetime. I know people are, karma will happen, it'll catch up to them. Well, great. In the meantime, those people down here on this place still alive that, in this country, we still have to suffer through whatever
somebody else did, even though they're not here to be punished for it. It does not make me feel better, because we're all supposed to be about feelings and everything. It doesn't make me feel better to think that somebody could get their comeuppance in the afterlife. Yeah, it doesn't work for me. No, it doesn't, because, people down here still suffer. And this is what I'm talking about as far as suffering, especially when it comes to Democrats. Hey, we're going to put a lot of coal miners and coal companies out of business. Now I'm going to ask, before I tell you who said that, I want to ask you, who said that? Who said that? I will give you a hint. It's not who you think. It's not who you probably think. So I'm asking the question, who said we're going to put a lot of coal miners and coal companies out of business? And I'll come back to that in just a moment. I'll give you a chance to answer that. If you think you know, then give me a call, 603-835-3224. The prize that will be available to you is the prize of you being right. You'll be the king of right for a day. Or queen, if you're a lady. You can be the queen of right for a day if you got it. And well, I can't say you can't look it up, but sure, go ahead. I'm going to try not to look it up don't Google it, Bing it, Yahoo it, Ask Jeeves, whatever and don't search engine it. Just, if you don't know it, then you don't know it. And you should probably know it. Well, I didn't know it until it came across my news feed. So, well, I did, but I didn't. I've forgotten about it. But anyway, this is nothing new. But yeah. So, but this is like they're it's coming out now as it's something new. Well, let's see how I can clarify this. This person recently said this, but this idea is nothing new. It has been around and it has been said for quite some time. So there you go. There's your hint. Nothing new under the sun, right? Of course not. Never really is. Did you know? Oh, was it Get Smart? Anybody ever watch that? I never watched it as a kid. I didn't watch it until reruns when I was older. And, of course, you had the Steve Carell movie. There's only one of them, right? It's one Steve Get Smart movie. And it was okay, I suppose. Get Smart. Did you know? Would you believe? There is a second State Department employee who refuses to answer questions. Yeah, I didn't know that there was a second person that refused it, because they gave the guy who handled the email server of Clinton's, they gave him immunity. Immunity. It's kind of like trying to say aluminum. You ever hear a little kid try to say the word aluminum? Ask a 4-year-old to say aluminum. It's hilarious. If you want a good laugh for the day, ask a 4 or 5-year-old to pronounce the word aluminum. Hey, can you say aluminum? Aluminum. That's why I think the Brits have it right. Aluminium. We Americans, we can't pronounce things properly. You know what? I'm serious. We are. We're terrible when it comes to pronouncing things. We say a schedule. In all reality, the way it's spelled, it should be pronounced schedule. I get when Brits say it, but it sounds so uppity and pretentious when you say schedule. And if you say aluminium, then, either you're an Aussie or you're a Brit and you're kind of snooty. But it's not aluminum. It is really aluminium. because it's titanium. It's not, it's not anything pronounced another way. So why would it be aluminum? No, it's an inium. It's a metal, mineral, aluminium, titanium, chromium. See, it's not chrominum or titanium. Why is it aluminum? It's aluminum. Just playing. We can play with words, folks. And hell, and especially here in New England. Peabody becomes Peabody. Worcester or Worcester becomes Worcester. Leominster becomes Leominster. I'm just saying we don't know how to, and Haverhill becomes Haverhill. Yeah, it's not even that the H is silent. It's just a total change in the whole pronunciation. It even goes so far that we don't even call Berlin. It's Berlin. I'm not joshing you on that at all. It really is Berlin. And it was the skinny, as I have learned. Now this may be an urban legend or an urban myth, I don't know. But the skinny of it is that during World War II, there was a thought of changing the town name or the city name from Berlin, New Hampshire to Freedomville, USA, New Hampshire. But somebody decided to say that was just too long. So being good old New Englanders that they are, because they recycle old stuff constantly, instead of actually changing the name, they just decided, well, let's just recycle the name and we'll just use the same. Because that way we don't have to change the letterhead for the city, the crest, and all that kind of stuff. It's going to cost a lot of money. So if we just change the way we pronounce the name of the city from Berlin to Berlin. Now, I have heard that story from more than one person who has come from that area. So I'm going to assume that might be, that urban legend or urban myth might be factual. And hell, it goes along with everything else in New England about not being able to pronounce things properly. Like Concord is not Concord, it's Concord. Go anywhere in New England, Concord. Concord? What's Concord? Concord. That's basically it. Just and like places like if you have a Ford at the end, like New Bedford or something like that. It's or Medford or New Bedford. No, you say Ford, right? Ford vehicles, but no, not when it comes to the name of a town. No, it's Fudd. Where are you going? I'm going to the Fudd dealer. What? What Fudd dealer? We got Ford. Well, it's New Bedford, Medford. I'm just saying. That's the way. That's the way it is. But I don't think that it's going to change any at all. Changing the words or anything. But in any case, it doesn't look like anybody's calling in with an answer to my question about who said we're going to put a lot of coal miners and coal companies out of business. Give you just a couple more seconds. Anyway, the second State Department employee refuses to answer questions from the Inquirer about Hillary Clinton's Emailgate scandal. Well, I don't. They don't want to. They don't want to incriminate themselves, is what they're saying. I get that part. But I think there's something else going on here. I don't know. Maybe some of these people are afraid. I'm going to say it. I don't know if this is the reason, but from the outside looking in, and you see the long list of people that are no longer with us that were once close or in the inner circle or outer circle of the Clintons that are have been since laid to rest permanently, forever, dirt nap type of time. you got to wonder if some people are a little bit afraid of this. Will they end up next? I don't know. I'm not going to support it or dispute it. Either way, I'm just going to say you decide. You can read all the information if you want to. By the way, speaking of information and stuff like that, people should go over to rodeccles.net and check out the site. Lots of good information there. You'll get a lot of links to information that you need or could use, or to back up or bolster some of your beliefs, or to crush some of the theories that you have. You can find all that information to do all of that, plus more, over at rodeccles.net. You'll also see something that I talk about sometimes here, about taking advantage of your own opportunities. People always say, well, I don't have any opportunities. Yeah, if you look all around you. Opportunities galore, you just have to take advantage of them. Now, I have to say, one of the advantages that you can have is if you're unemployed or underemployed, you can go to work for yourself, create a job. You can create a job, create your own job, do something for yourself. One of the things that you can do is you can be a part of, if you already have the equipment that is necessary, you can be a part of the so-called sharing economy. Like Airbnb and stuff like that. There's something called Uber. Yes, I know. Uber and Lyft. I know people have heard of Uber and Lyft. If you have a four-door vehicle, and you have the proper insurance on that four-door vehicle, and you have a decent driving history or record. In other words, no DWIs. And you have some time, you can apply to become an Uber. Now, an Uber or Lyft or some of the other ride sharing, and ride sharing also includes package delivery companies, and they're not as big. Those types of companies aren't yet as big as Uber and Lyft. But you could do that on your own just by placing a Craigslist ad. You want to deliver packages? You could do that. Wouldn't be a problem. But it's available to you. You can work. None of these places put you on a schedule because you work your own hours. You work your own hours. And I know you've probably heard a bunch of negative stuff as well as positive stuff about Lyft and Uber and a few of the other ride sharing or sharing economy, places. If you own your own place, or if you rent someplace that your lease will allow you to do something like this, you could use the Airbnb or one of Airbnb's competitors if that's what you want to do. Make some extra cash. It could be there are people out there that do this the sharing community full time. Some of them are look. It's kind of like Amazon. Everybody used to say, well, you can't make real money out of Amazon until people started making real money from Amazon. And now there are people who have online businesses that are just on Amazon. They're doing 6 figures a year in profit in their pocket on Amazon. Well, you can do this. There are people out there who are actually, and there have been a couple of stories, and like in Fortune magazine and a couple of other business magazines, about the millionaire ride or sharing economy business owners from ride sharing. They have an Uber, Lyft, and other ride sharing types of apps that they run daily. Some of them are working 18 hours a day, but they're making 6 figures. Some of them are renting, like a taxi service, or they're buying vehicles and then paying people to drive them. I get that, and then of course you have the Airbnb people, and the vacation sharing industry, and real estate sharing industry. Airbnb people that basically run a piece of property that they have or two, like a bed and breakfast or a motel. And they make a lot of money from that. And they do. You can do the same thing if you have the stuff that's already there. You can get started looking into this stuff by going to rodeccles.net. In fact, we'll be putting up a whole page based on the sharing economy. But you can get started over there right now just by going over there and clicking on the Uber button. And if you use that particular link, you can get some bonuses that aren't available to the standard person who signs up without being referred over to Uber. And you don't have to. Yeah, if you click that link and you sign up and you actually do what it says, I will earn a small amount of money. But you're the one that wins, not me. So you can try the Uber stuff. Check it out. It's worth checking. If you've got a 4-door car, be it sedan or SUV or minivan or what have you, it's worth checking out. And if you use that button and that link from rodeccles.net, you could earn a bonus without really having to do much. So you check it out. Lyft is also, like I said, is good. I don't have any links available for Lyft, but there are bonuses available for Lyft people who sign up, and you can find out at I think it's Lyft.com. It's Lyft with a Y, not an I. Airbnb is the same thing. Do your homework and research and look these places up. Look these things up. Find out what you can do. Okay, maybe you've got something that you can do on your own as far as the show. You don't need to be a part of an app or another company. You could look. Craigslist is beautiful. There's a bed and breakfast in Vermont that I've heard about that does not pay out any type of commissions or fees to outside places, but yet they're booked constantly. And when I ask, well, how do you do it? They said, well, we use Craigslist and other free media, advertising media. So you could probably do the same thing if you wanted to. But they obviously have a wider appeal. They can use Craigslist all over the place. So it's available to you. Like I always say, if they give a reception, don't participate. Refuse to participate. Just refuse to participate. I think that's my mantra when it comes to that kind of stuff. Just refuse to participate. TheWeeklyStandard.com is where we got this quote. We're going to put a lot of coal miners and coal companies out of business. So nobody called in to ask or to try to tell me who said that. So I'm going to assume that maybe people just do not know who said that, which is quite all right if you don't know, but you should know. Now, a lot of people probably thought, but they weren't sure after I said, it's not who you think. So maybe they just don't know who it is because they thought they knew who it was, but then I said, you don't know who it is. And so now they were a little bit reluctant to say who it is when they didn't know who it was. Get what I'm saying? Now, I know some people are probably confused as hell right now saying, what is he talking about? Here it is, the Weekly Standard. Hillary Clinton says we're going to put a lot of coal miners and coal companies out of business. Now, I bet most of you thought that was going to be attributed to Barack Hussein Obama, who did pretty much say that 7-8 years ago. And so now you have Clinton out there on the campaign stump, just like Obama was on the campaign stump back then. Hillary Clinton is on the campaign stump threatening coal industry, jobs, and businesses. How is that going to be we're a nation that isn't doing very well economically speaking. We have anemic job growth, anemic economic growth, and we've got nearly 95 million Americans who are chronically unemployed. Oh, yes, but we have 4.9% unemployment rate. I know. This is what you hear all the time. And you forget that this is what, Barack Obama said. Hey, yeah, you can build a coal plant if you want. We're just going to bankrupt you. And now you got Clinton out there saying the same thing. Basically, hey, she's trying to make the case to poor whites who vote Republican why they should vote for her and her economic policies when she's going to put them out of a job, out of work. She's going to say, hey, if you vote for me, I will put you out of work because we're going to close all the local coal mines and coal companies and coal plants out there. But if you vote for me, you will at least have government support. We will take care of you. Because what difference does it make at this point whether or not you have a real job or if you let the government, which will be me and my cronies, instead of letting the government take care of you, you're still getting money. So I have to ask, what difference does it make at this point if you work or do not work? I'll take care of you.
You're listening to me, your lovable host, L. Rod, here on the Rod Eccles Show.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
When you're ready to take the edge off a hectic day, I suggest you start with a little music from Franz Black.
I guess there's lots of ways to look at things that don't seem right.
No Worries has just been released on iTunes and Amazon.
It's gonna be alright.
You can find Franz Black and his music on his website, friendsblack.com. F-R-A-N-Z black.com.
It's gonna be alright.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes two. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Attention business owners. We know that owning a business means getting things done right now. So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company. General Steel. We can design a building for your business quickly and save you thousands of dollars. That's right, thousands. You may think General Steel only builds large projects or that you can't afford General Steel quality. Well, check these prices. How about a 40 by 60 foot building for under $22,000? Or even a 50 by 100 for under $35,000? That's right, a 5,000 square foot building for under $35,000. And these buildings all have General Steel quality. Best of all, you can still order a building and have it delivered in time to build this year. How's that for right now? So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company, General Steel.
800-393-5756. 800-393-5756. 800-393-5756. That's 800-393-5756.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. And then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-616-8010. That's 1-800-616-8010. Again, 1-800-616-8010. Call now.
Bring the rain.
Welcome back. 603-835-3224 is the number. It still got a lot to cover, unfortunately, as we normally happens. They're not going to be able to cover it all in one particular 3-hour program. But we do get to cover more than we used to when I only had 2 hours to tell you about everything. So, well, it just goes to show that there's just so much stuff out there. Like, Cruz is facing his trade deal issue in Ohio. I know we got Governor Kasich out there talking about how he in his first 100 days he would institute amnesty, which would devastate a bunch of more American jobs. But Cruz is being attacked for his support of the TPP deal, free trade stuff. Look. You folks that do like Cruz, I'm telling you, look, this is something that your guy is well on record as being for. And we got so many Americans who are against. Remember when we had this North American free trade stuff going on, and we had Ross Perot out there saying, "Well, I'm telling you, Larry, this stuff is going to lead to American jobs being lost. They're going to go away. They're going to go to Mexico and other places, Larry. I'm telling you that right now." And everybody poo-pooed, Ross Perot as being this person who was, just a kook, didn't know what he's talking about. As it turns out, a lot of this free trade stuff and favored nation trade stuff did exactly what Ross Perot warned us of. And with that said, you still have some modern politicians, including Ted Cruz, who supported taking that kind of stuff even further. And siding with, Obama of all people on certain aspects of the free trade stuff. I don't get it. I don't get it. But I'm just saying that's the truth. You gotta. I'm not the one that has to try to explain why I'm for or not for Ted Cruz. I'm telling you the truth. There's the truth. You deal with it. I'm not going to take your garbage for you and your trash for you wanting to be a total and complete suck-up supporter no matter what for Ted Cruz. And the same goes for Trump people. I'm not, because there are a bunch of stuff that I could say about Trump too. But, that's not, I'm not going to take your garbage. You are going to have to prove to me otherwise. Because there it is right there. Ted Cruz was for free trade, and you're saying that you're not for that type of stuff, but you're supporting a candidate who is. 518, you're live on the Rod Eccles Show. What you got? Good morning. I am well. How are you doing this morning?
I'm fine. I'm calling in because I'm a Trump supporter and a very avid supporter of our military and our veterans. And I just wanted to say that Ted Cruz is everything that you say, and I don't trust him, nor do I trust our Congress anymore. And
now, let me ask you. Now, I've heard this about Ted Cruz, and there is even a social physiologist, psychologist, whatever. I can't remember his exact term, but he says that Ted Cruz has a problem with trustworthiness. Well, in spite of he may or may not have lied about certain things. Okay, I get that part, but all politicians do. What about Ted Cruz to you makes you not trust him?
Well, really, it doesn't. This really doesn't really have anything to do with him. This first thing, in the 2014 elections, we're going to get the Senate back, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do that. Well, I don't think he's done anything for us in the Senate. Okay. When that happened in Iowa with Ben Carson, he had to have known about that.
Well,
saying, listen, not
that I'm going to defend Ted Cruz, but we know for a fact that it was CNN and Rubio's camp that did that first.
All right. Well, whoever did it should have been fired, or the truth should have been told then.
Okay,
Agree?
I'm not going to. Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, but I think that's what Ted was trying to say, that he saw that the Rubio camp was saying this stuff, that they got it from CNN, so he just basically used what he thought was a news story. I'm not saying Ted used it, but people in his camp used what they believed was a released news story. No, they didn't vet it and check it out, and that was bad. You're right. I agree with that.
I never heard Rubio's name mentioned.
Well, it wasn't. Look, I'm not going to say that Rubio himself was behind it, but we know that when they dissect all the tweets and they figure out when all this stuff started and they could figure out who started it, because by the time stamping of everything, and it was CNN that put this notion out there that Carson was going to go home and end his campaign at that particular point in time. People in Rubio's camp picked up on that and sort of retweeted that stuff, and then I guess people in Cruz's camp picked up on what Rubio was reporting, and then said the same thing. It was just one bad mistake after another. You're absolutely correct. And really, I don't think Rubio definitely didn't fess up to it. Cruz was the only one that even attempted to make an apology.
Okay, well, that's okay. Rubio, as far as I'm concerned, Rubio should be gone. Should have been gone long ago. He's not even ready to be a president. But I believe that Donald Trump, yes, he's a billionaire, but he is a patriot also. He sees what's going on, and he wants to stop it, and he wants to turn the United States around to the better. He wants to help us. He wants us to be a strong militarily, trade-wise, fiscal-wise, everything again. And that's what I want. And I am upset by all these riots. I think they're fixed. I think they're staged. And I'm getting sick and tired of this government thinking that we the patriots, are stupid.
Well, I don't think that they're thinking that we're stupid. We're just racist now. We're Nazis.
Well, okay, we're racist then. We're racist. But and that's what they're trying to make Donald Trump out to be, and I don't believe he is a racist. By no means. I'm from New York, so I know.
Well, Donald's done a lot of good for all kinds of people down in New York. I'm originally from upstate New York, so I know.
Yeah, he has a lot. And he is a good man. And he means what he says. And just because, like, if somebody says, well, how's Max going to pay for the fence? Well, he knows how they're going to pay. He's going to hold back trade with them. Figure it out, people. But I wish Donald would just say, look, they're going to lose trade with us. They're going to lose money. We're going to have money to pay for that fence by them not getting our money. Period. That's it. I'm just tired of people attacking him, especially now Fox News. They're getting some of those reporters on there are really getting on his bad side, like O'Reilly, and I'm getting really aggravated sometimes with them. They're trying to just make him out in a bad light, and I don't like it. But I just called to tell you that, and I'm an avid veteran supporter. My nephew died in Iraq, and my dad was a decorated POW, World War II German camp. And I am on Twitter, and my Twitter name is Lady Lynn Irish. And I'd like my veterans to please follow me there if they want. But I really want everyone to vote and to vote for Donald Trump because he's the only answer for us. We don't need another politician.
Well, I think you've laid a very good case out there for him. It's hard to argue. So. Hard to argue anything that you said about. Well, I like Donald in many respects. There are many areas that I like about him. There are some areas that I disagree, and that's with a lot of the politicians.
Me too. Yeah, me too. I know. There's some things I don't agree with either, but as a whole, as it weighs out between Cruz and him, I'd pick him any day.
All right, there you go. Another happy Trump supporter who's now. When is the New York primary?
16th of April, I believe.
Okay, so that's another month away. So you got a little ways to go before he's back home and really traipsing around New York. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hopefully that. It looks like he may do well in tomorrow's races, although still up in the air about whether or not he can win Ohio.
I know. I'm watching that. Well,
we'll soon see. We'll soon see. All right. Thank you very much for your call. It's a pleasure.
Thank you for taking my call.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Well, hey, go for go for Trump if you like Trump. Go for Cruz if you like Cruz. If you like or dislike a person, please, I'm begging you to know fully and completely why you like or dislike someone. Don't be shallow about it. Don't be, well, I don't like him. Well, look, there is a person out there who's touting this sociology, psychology type of stuff about Ted Cruz, and one of Ted Cruz's problems is Ted Cruz himself, and not what he says. People don't tend to. This is a natural thing, and he points this out about Ted Cruz, how people tend not to trust Ted Cruz. Why do people not trust Ted Cruz? Well, they don't trust Ted Cruz simply because of the way Ted Cruz looks and the way Ted Cruz sounds. Now, obviously, without plastic surgery, Ted Cruz can't change the way he looks. Or can he? I don't know. Depends on what it is about him that people don't like his looks. They don't like Ted Cruz's smile. I've always felt that Ted Cruz's smile was a little odd. Like it was always forced. And I guess that's his natural smile, but people do not find him sincere when he smiles. Because you ever watch a person when they smile? And they smile, and now think about this. Think about the people that you know, whether they be celebrities or not. Think about the people that you know when they smile, and you happen to like their smile. You ever notice how some people seem to have what we call happy eyes? In other words, when they smile, their eyes smile. People light up with people like that. I know people like that personally. I mean, I even tell some people. There's this one newlywed. Whenever she's around her new husband, she is such a good-natured person. But whenever she smiles, her eyes smile. I mean, it's like her whole face lights up when she smiles, and it just makes you want to smile back. And you just look at her and you think, what a fun-loving person. I mean, she is so happy. And then you got people who smile, And even though they're smiling, it doesn't really reverberate back to you as being a good feeling because their eyes don't smile. Their eyes are their eyes look kind of cold. I know people like that, and it's just, you look at them and you think, whoa, are they really sincere about being happy? And that's one of the problems with Ted Cruz. Now, I'm just pointing out what this professor, sociologist, psychologist type of person points out. But there is some truth to that. There is some psychological truth to that. If a person smiles and it doesn't look like their eyes are following their mouth, their eyes are not smiling, you do not trust them. In fact, sometimes, depending on the color of their eyes, you can actually be repelled by it. If you have dark eyes and your eyes do not smile when your mouth smiles, you actually can repel people. People will be unconsciously afraid of you. That's just human nature. And so people are finding Ted to be this way. But Ted has got a strange smile in the first place. Some people, they smile down or straight back. It just does not look sincere. And that's part of Ted. Now, I'm not saying Ted is not sincere whenever he smiles, but that appears to be his natural smile, and it just appears to people as not being sincere. Ted Cruz's eyes also do not happen to, he doesn't get the wrinkle, laugh, smile lines around the eyes. His eyes don't crinkle. His eyes don't light up. They don't look like they're smiling when he smiles. That's a problem for some people, which is why some people will ultimately tell other people, I don't trust Ted. And they don't know why they don't trust Ted. Well, it's because of how Ted looks is why they don't trust Ted. And that is just something that happens on an unconscious level. And you should be aware of that so you understand, when you come across somebody, if they give you the heebie-jeebies, I love that word, heebie-jeebies. If they give you the heebie-jeebies, you'll have a basis for why they are giving you the heebie-jeebies. And I have no idea how you spell that. So if you live in Rush Limbaugh's Rio Linda, look that up, heebie-jeebie, and see if use Siri or something. Hey Siri, what does how do you spell heebie-jeebie? It's been a while. I love that word. It just sounds so. It's a sinister kind of word, but it's really not. Doesn't sound it. Somebody gives you the heebie-jeebies, it means that, that it's a kind of being used in a sinister way. They're kind of creeping you out. But it doesn't sound very creepy. But it is. It's to describe creepiness. So feel free to, maybe I should put that on t-shirts, heebie-jeebies. Nation of heebie-jeebies. Put it on a hat. Would you buy the hat if it said heebie-jeebie? Would you even know how to pronounce it if you saw it spelled? Well, maybe here in New England they wouldn't know because, I could put Peabody on a hat and they'd say Peabody. I guess. I always go back to that, heebie-jeebie. I don't know how you spell heebie-jeebie. I'll try to figure that out later. Maybe I'll put it up on rodeccles.net once I figure out how to spell it. I don't even think that it won't come up on spell check, will it? No, it won't. Somebody look it up for me. I don't know. Well, you're going to have to ask Siri. I don't know how, because you're not going to know how to spell it. I know sure as hell I don't know how to spell it. In any case, but now when you look at some of the other candidates, their personal trust. See, the one problem with Cruz is that he has a problem with people trusting him. And even, we've even heard people say that they're supporting him. They have certain aspects that they're uncomfortable with. And they don't know why. Well, it's just an unconscious thing because of the way he looks, and it's not something that he can change. Now, one of his problems is the way he talks. I've often brought up this about him and his speech pattern. And here's why a lot of people think that including myself, think that he might be a little, doing a little bit of tomfoolery, trickery fakiness on us? Because there was recently a video that came to light when he was 18 years old. 18 years. Freshman in college. Talking about ruling the world. And I'm not saying that the subject matter is the reason why people should not trust Ted Cruz. I'm saying if you listen to Ted Cruz then versus Ted Cruz today, the voice inflection sounds the same. In other words, it's Ted Cruz speaking back then, and it's Ted Cruz speaking today. The voice pattern is completely different. The voice at the 18-year-old freshman was more natural. The voice today is a well-rehearsed, well-trained, well-oiled lawyer and politician from Texas. And to a lot of people who are not Texan, it comes across as sounding phony, not sincere. Ted Cruz may be very sincere at that, but, he's not sounding it to a lot of people. That's his problem. And people are trying to overlook that, and still support him anyway, kind of like the Hillary Clinton support. But anyway, 925, you're live on the Rod Eccles Show. What you got?
Hi.
Good morning.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Good morning.
Today and enjoy your show. I'm a new listener.
Well, thank you for listening.
Thank you. And I wanted to echo the woman that just called. I totally agree with pretty much everything she said. I'm just disgusted with politics in general. Been a Republican pretty much most of my life, and finally said it gets to the point you just don't know who to vote for. So I was independent, and starting the election, I didn't know any of those candidates. I didn't know Rubio, Cruz, Kasich, because I just don't follow politics as a lot of people. So what I realized as I started to say, okay, I need to know, because Trump came out, I thought it was kind of funny actually, and I was joking to say I found my candidate, just as a joke, and I realized people started to attack me. I said, hey, look, I'm just kidding, so, but anyway, as time went on, I started to listen, and now I'm in Texas, so I said, well, what's Cruz all about? So I started to investigate that, and actually called his office, because I just don't trust what I'm hearing. I don't trust the media. I don't trust what people say. So it's pretty sad when you call his office and they can't answer a question. I had a question about vets, and vets, again, for me, near and dear to my heart. So they couldn't answer it. I said, I'd like to know something about this bill. Why did he oppose this bill? And so we'll get back to you. They never did. So I was like, well, that's kind of, I think that's pretty sad. Your people should kind of know what you stand for. So that was one thing. But another, and I've tried to listen to Trump. I've gone to 2 rallies. I want to hear it from the horse's mouth. And this Christian radio station, it was one clip after another of Ted Cruz lying. And I heard it from Trump, so I know it was a lie personally. And if I could have picked up the phone and called and said, okay, Trump on the Second Amendment, he's saying no, he's not for the Second Amendment. It was just, anyway, it was so infuriating if I can't even listen to a Christian radio station, and you're touting Cruz because obviously you want Cruz. So I don't know. I'm just trying to be informed. If you're familiar with Roger Stone at all, I read his book, Clinton's War on Women. I knew some of it. I had to read it twice. The information is so unbelievably horrible with what the Clintons have done. And he's been in the political arena for 30-something years on both sides. So no one's refuting his information. But I agree with you. It's important to be informed. Very frustrating this election. I believe Cruz just lies constantly, and I've just heard it myself. So, and listening to Trump, so I can hear from one mouth and then the other. And being in Texas, people that I've been around, because I've actually volunteered on a campaign here. I've never done that in my life. I just feel it's so important. But talking to people that were Cruz supporters helped him. Texas had the things they had to say. They're like, I'll never support him again. So whatever their reasons, I don't know. But anyway, I've kind of rambled on, and
you're echoing the sentiments of a lot of people that originally at one time or another did support Ted Cruz wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
I mean, look, Sarah Palin. Sarah Palin helped
Yes.
get Ted elected in Texas, and then she comes out for the Donald. But I'm running up against the clock and almost to the end of the program today. I do thank you for listening and welcome to the fold. Become an ecclesiastite and call in again.
Well, you can say Laura.
She's good at doing that.
She's great. Okay, thanks, Rod. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Bye-bye.
your show. Bye.
There is the trust issue again. You got to be able to get people to trust you somehow. But Ted lately seems to be having an issue with that, and the same thing with Hillary. I hate to put the two of them in the same category, but in any case, we are coming to the end of the first program of the week. In the bag already, in the can, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, I'm Rod Eccles. This has been the Rod Eccles Show. We'll be back here tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel. Until then, thanks for listening. Have a great day. I'm out.